No. In medieval Europe, and the Westerosi society based on it, marriage had nothing to do with love. It was a political alliance. Furthermore, the woman had very little say in the matter. The alliance was between her betrothed and her father. She was just a keepsake of the agreement, and the vessel who would hopefully produce heirs, cementing the alliance throughout the generations by being in both families at once. Hello everyone, if you are new here, please don't forget to subscribe and click the notifications bell, so you don't miss any new updates on your favorite TV series. Robert made a deal with Rickard Stark. The young Lyanna's feelings on the subject weren't wanted, and they would both probably have laughed at her if she made them known. Marriage pacts had nothing to do with love. It was all about politics and economics. In this specific case, it was a political bloc that worked as a counterweight against the Targaryens because many houses had had enough of their shit, with many good reasons. Had that political bloc through marriages happened without a hitch, the Tullys, Starks, Baratheons, and Lannisters, through the Laisa and Jaime betrothal that would have happened had Aerys not turned him into a hostage via Kingsguard vows, would have been united in marriage pacts and so given Raygar a pause in the future, where the rebellion didn't happen. As in, he couldn't do a stupid stunt that would fuck around with the realm without really paying for it. After all, the Targaryens no longer have dragons to force a mass amount of population control through threatening to nuke people anymore. It's not like their armies are anything special or impressive in and of themselves. The Tyrells are still pissed off about Aerys' mother and uncle breaking their vows to them. The Ironborn have hated being under the Greenlanders' yoke and have made direct and indirect attempts to get out from under it since Aegon's conquest. The only ones with a stake in the Targaryen Dynasty because of Alya's marriage that produced a future Dornish Targaryen King, and even then that only happened because Daenerys wasn't born 2 decades or so earlier to be Rhaegar's bride. Now, sure, Robert might have been too much in Cloud 9 over finally becoming true brothers with Ned to notice any of this, plus his general personality, but Rickard sure as hell was aware of this. Robert would be pissed and or baffled and wouldn't hide it, leading to Rickard learning about it and so reading his daughter the riot act. After all, if Lyanna backs out of the deal between the Starks and Baratheons, then the Starks lose a lot of power and clout. Their word, which was once as good as gold, is now in question, so they are not seen as valuable allies. They'd have to use a lot of power and resources to appease House Baratheon and even House Aerys, as the latter arranged the betrothal along with Rickard. Could also have the domino effect of having the Tullys side-eye the Starks. After all, it's one thing for Jaime to be stuck in a Kingsguard position thanks to Bats hit Aerys, it's quite another thing for someone to back out of a political deal like that. And if Lyanna can break her family's oath like that, then why wouldn't Brandon do the same? Even if Stannis was the oldest brother in this scenario and was more discreet about dealing with this situation, he'd still tell Lyanna something along the lines of, "Yeah, and I don't want to marry an irresponsible girl either. And yet this is our duty to our respective houses. Women are basically second-class citizens in Westeros, they have to do what they're told by their fathers and husbands." Robert fancied himself in love with Lyanna. The betrothal was set up by Lyanna's father, Rickard. Robert would have insisted Lyanna honor the betrothal as expected of a highborn daughter. That's not to say he wouldn't have respected her, though. It's hard to tell on that point, because we only actually get Robert talking about the idealized Lyanna in his head long after she's died, so it's hard to say if he would have respected Lyanna's feelings or not. But he would have expected her to go through with the marriage anyway. Love wasn't the basis of highborn marriages in Westeros, politics was. Love was a bonus if it happened, but it's a rare highborn couple that finds love in their marriage, like Ned and Catelyn did, and almost impossible to find a marriage that occurred because of love instead of politics, at least in heirs and daughters. Robert may have respected Lyanna's feelings enough to not expect her to love him, to try for friendship instead. But he would have continued pushing for the marriage that had been agreed. Thanks for watching, please don't forget to like this video and drop comments. And most importantly, don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you don't miss anything.